Business Takeout presents The Takeout Effect with Banki. The Takeout Effect brings real conversations in business.
Hey, Banki.
Hey, Sheri, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am pretty good.
Good.
So welcome to the Takeout Effect. The
Thank
Takeout
you.
Effect is brought to you by Business Takeout. The Takeout Effect brings real conversation in business. I'm your host, and my name is Banki. As I mentioned before, the Takeout Effect is brought to you by Business Takeout. Business Takeout is a nonprofit organization. It is a social enterprise that provides business resources to Black entrepreneurs. Resources such as blogs, podcast shows like this, and so much more, and so much more. So we really want to increase Black wealth and empower our community. So thank you everyone for joining us. Today's guest, we have Sheri-Anne Woolley. Sheri-Anne is not a stranger to Business Takeout or the Takeout Effect. She's been here before. In past episodes, she had spoke about her journey as an entrepreneur. We found out about a lot of her businesses, whatnot. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. But before we dive into all of that, welcome, Sheri. How are you doing today?
Hello, Banki. Thank you so much for having me. I am doing well today. I'm happy to be here again. Love coming on your show.
Thank you. All right. So before we have so much to talk about, I really want to talk about the six-figure consultants that you currently do, the workshop that you have coming up. I also want to talk about, just a conversation about coaching, systems and processes, different things that every business owners have and why it's important. Before we do that, however, we're going to show a message from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Banki Designs. Banki Designs is a creative graphic and branding firm in Toronto, specializes in social media content creating, graphic and web design. So let's hear a message from our sponsor. Okay. Welcome back. Sheri, let's just dive right into it. Out of the many businesses that you have Sheri-Anne Inc. And for those who are just joining, please feel free to like and share. And if you are interested in knowing more about Sheri-Anne in our past episodes, you can just comment and we'll make sure to have that particular episode in the comments for you to see it as well. Six-figure consultant for Sheri-Anne Inc. I just noticed it as your title on Instagram, LinkedIn. I know that you have a workshop coming up. What is a six-figure consultant?
So a six-figure consultant, which is what I am, is I coach businesses to scale beyond six figures. So I'm helping them with all the organization, laying out systems and process and workflows for their business. Because oftentimes what happens is entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, think that they can just wing it. So they will just work in their business, hum-de-da, and then suddenly they'll get a growth spurt and they won't be able to manage it because they've been working from their head on their own. They don't have anything clearly documented. So now hiring for this new growth becomes difficult. So I help them get all of that back end organized. I help them understand what their operational workflow is and should be, and what the major areas of their business to focus on are, so that they can get organized and actually scale beyond where they are.
Okay, amazing. So in a lot of our conversations, um, basically with my business, you do a lot of coaching with me, and we talk really about having the right systems and processes in place, and having
Yep.
the right workflow. How important is it to have the right systems and processes in place? I know that every entrepreneur should have it. How important is it to really have that part concrete and down pat before even catering to your clients?
Well, if you want to take vacation, it matters. If you want to be, if you don't want to be bolted to your business for the rest of your life, if you don't want your business to feel like a pain in the butt, systems are necessary. And I think it's important that I kind of clarify what each of these are so that people understand, they can follow along easier. So a system is a set of tasks or rules or functions that work together as a whole. So for example, in my cleaning service, the way we hire, everything from creating the posting to the identity of that person, what attributes should that person possess, to the telephone interview, the telephone screen, the face-to-face, everything that comes under hiring would be your hiring system. Another way to put it is everything in your business that goes from idea to the actual sale, those string of events is your system, right? So it's a group of functions or rules that work together as a whole. And now when you pull that apart, you're going to have workflows for each of those. So I have a workflow for hiring in my business. And within the workflow is just a sequence of high level kind of instruction that take you from beginning to end of a process. Okay. And then a process is simply a function within a system. So how do I do this? And how does it bring me to the end result? So that's the very detailed kind of instruction for your front end workers usually. But the person, this is a set of rules that you need in your business in order to get things done.
Okay. In terms of auditing your systems and processes and your workflow, how often would you recommend that businesses do that, and if they should do that, and what would be the benefit of doing that? I know that's a lot of questions.
Well, if the benefit obviously is a smooth running, predictable business that makes it easy for you to hire people, they can follow along easy. Recently, I've spoken with people who are making well over six figures, but they can't grow their team because they don't have anything organized. They've been the doer. So that's like, trying to find a single particle of sand in a sandbox that's, called Sheri-Anne. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, right? So you have to have some level of order in the way that you structure the back end of your business that allows you to clearly step by step show people how things are done in your business. And again, this is the mistake that solopreneurs make because they feel that because they're alone in their business, that they don't have to document things. But the moment things change and they need to hire, they have to stop, train that person, fill in missing gaps and things that they had in their head. And that takes away time from moving the business forward, right? And then that person leaves, you have to do it all over again. So systems and having processes and workflows, how things work in your business, make it so much easier for people to work with you. So your employees or your workers. And it also makes it easy for people to know what to do, find instruction in your business without you. And that's the reason why most people can't take a vacation when they have a business, is it can't run without them.
Exactly. For those who have worked in the corporate world, when you start your day, you're having your on-the-job training, and when you're in the process of doing your daily routine, there's actually, in some cases, there's an instruction book of instructions of how to do this and how to do that. And having that for your business, I think is really important because, as you said, it saves so much time. It really does.
Big time. And sometimes it is as simple as the way you organize the records on your computer. It is that simple.
That's true. That is so true. In terms of, so Sheri-Anne Inc. is offers business consulting. But also tell us about what's your take on the difference between coaching, mentoring, and consulting.
Okay. So coaching is, well, let me go. Coaching is like a structured training that is time bound, has specific goals that you're trying to reach in a specific period of time. And then mentorship is more of a relationship for guidance. It's less structured than coaching. And typically the mentee, the person who is being mentored, steers the relationship, and actually it's long term, but they steer the relationship and they kind of set the goals, set the things that they want to achieve. And then was it counseling?
Yes. Consultation. Yeah, counseling. Yeah.
Okay. So counseling is more of people want self-understanding, self-awareness. It's more self-focused. Usually someone is just trying to learn how to understand themselves better.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah, I'm seeing that as well. I'm not sure if it's on my end. I hope we're able to finish this interview without any challenges. So when I'm looking at coaching and I'm looking at counseling, and I'm seeing a lot of people, when it comes to coaching, it helps them move forward, right? It helps them with their goals, and it helps them get to where they want to be. And when you look at counseling, and this is just my opinion, I haven't really Googled it, but when you look at counseling, I'm seeing it as identifying what mistakes you've made in the past, identifying what is holding you back to bring you forward.
Yeah. So a lot of that is self-focus. It's self-understanding, self-awareness, self-acceptance. So really counseling is, it's really individual focused.
Got it. Definitely. In terms of accountability, right? In as a business coach, how important is holding your clients accountable, or is that a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. As a coach, absolutely. I can tell you that I have coaches as well, and they hold the flame to my tail. And I think that this is really why people require the coaching, the structure, the encouragement, the pushing, and the timelines. Solopreneurs have a they probably are challenged more than when you have a full team to create and set deadlines for themselves, right? It's hard to move forward when you're not working within a time frame on XYZ project. The other thing is that lack of singular focus, right? We can't focus on three things at the same time. It's just not possible. So a lot of, what's helped me lately is I just push everything to the side. I ignore it all, and I'm working on one thing and one thing only. And it increases your productivity. It's an easier way to work. It's just too difficult. Your brain can't split and do two things at the same time.
That's true. And when you put your focus in one area, you really accomplish a lot more.
Correct.
In terms of confidentiality, with what you do, you have a lot of clients. You're building a lot of relationships in that process. How important is confidentiality in just with your clients in general?
Generally speaking, confidentiality is a big deal. It's big for my clients. Like I said, I have a couple that are very large, but so I impress it on them, and I'm going to do the same for them in return. But I have clear policies and a clear agreement on how we're going to work together. And really, confidentiality is respected when you have rules that protect both parties. So I have an agreement that protects myself, but it also protects the people I'm working with. And what I found is big clients have no problem spilling it all on you. But when I get these smaller clients that are, struggling, they're 5 figures, but they're trying to get to 6 figures, they don't want you to have their inside goods, and they, everything is so huge. But I have a hard time helping people, especially in this type of coaching that I do, if I can't see into your back end, right? So there's a lot of talking about confidentiality. In the agreement, I clearly lay out what it is that I'm going to need from you in order for this to work. And I think the biggest emphasis in our agreement is that I'm not doing the work, you are. I will provide you structure, I will provide you deadlines, I will hold you accountable, but you have to do the work.
That is true. Help me help you.
Exactly. Makes it so much easier.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges in the past year with coaching?
Getting myself online, because in the past it was a little bit, it was mostly word of mouth. And now with everything being closed, there's no networking events. There is online, but I don't know how to seek those. That's just not something I did before. I was going to physical networking things. And so now it's all about figuring out how to package myself and put myself online. And it's been difficult staying consistent because I'm not a graphic designer. I can't do all that creation stuff. And that slows me down, like straight up, it slows me down. So I am currently looking for someone to help. But it's also, it's hard for me to be consistent when I have so many other things happening in the back end. So when a client calls, that is my top priority. When I'm working with people, everything I'm doing is to make sure that journey is solid and detailed for them, and that this program is a success for them. Yeah. So that's really where I put my focus.
So I'm going to read a testimonial that I saw on your page. I stalked you, Sheri.
Like and share.
Yes. It's from Vesna Investments. It says, losers have goals and winners have systems. Sheri-Anne is a coach who has impressed me incredibly. I am fascinated by her presence, her clarity, and her exceptional ability to put things in a nutshell with the right timing. Sheri-Anne walked me through all my complex aspects of running a business. She helped me with strategy, systems, time management, and planning. Sheri-Anne can move people and motivate them to bring the best out of themselves. She is reliable, a reliable companion on the right path. I can only advise anyone who wants to take the next step to trust herself or himself to Sheri-Anne. So I thought that was amazing. Amazing testimony. And it's really, when it's coming right back to the systems and processes, I know we spoke about it earlier, bringing it right back. I remember I had an event in 2019. You spoke on it, and the subject was, have you designed your business by design, or are you just winging it, right? And I find that a lot of people in their business, they're just winging it. They don't know what to do. So in terms of systems and processes, I would say, how would you go about, let's talk about the workshop that you have, right?
Okay, so that's where I would say, go start at the workshop. So first of all, I do have a freebie that if you go to my Instagram and click on my link tree or my bio, you'll find it. But, first you need to really understand why you need the systems in your business. That term you said, people winging it, that is so common. And it's because in the common mind, if I have product A or service A and Banki buys it, I'm in business. And they're not looking at the details behind, what is it about the product? How do you speak about it? What is the messaging behind it? What is it about the product that attracted people? And what happened between the product going out there and Banki buying it that made her buy it? And it's going to be, again, how you talk about it, how organized your system is. Do you have a sales script? I speak to so many solopreneurs who have so many leads come to them, but their close rate is only about 20%. So if 10 people come to them, they're getting 2. And when you ask them what happened in the sales call, they can't tell you. There's no structure. And that's the biggest thing for me, even as this person that I am now, this business consultant, I have a script that I work by. I take notes on every single call. I have details that I'm going to flip back on you and your head will spin because you're going to wonder where I got that from. I take very clear notes. I have a structure that I always follow. So when I'm going to follow up or I don't get a sale, I can pinpoint exactly what the issues were within my script. When you don't have a script, it's very hard to do that. You have nothing to reference. You can't compare call A to call B because the questions weren't the same, right? So that's how important and beneficial structure is in your business. It keeps things consistent for your customer, consistent for anybody who's interested in you, and consistent for the people actually working with you to deliver your product or service. So having some high level understanding of how business is done here is really important for all businesses. So for example, in my cleaning service, first they're going to hear about me through my marketing, which is very standardized inside, is always happening. But I put that marketing out in very specific places. And then people respond to it. And when they respond either by email or by phone call, we have a script. And our script is very pushy is not the right word, but it kind of rolls them into the next step, whether it is respond to our quote, give us details for our quote, or yes or no, I want the service. So we have a very direct and intentional phone script, email script, and our follow-up it's noted. So we work with software, obviously, and we know when we respond to someone, we set it up right away for a follow-up call. It takes it away from here. And if I'm absent tomorrow, whoever comes in, it is there for them. So nothing gets dropped. So it's really about understanding the major functions in your business and how to get through them. So in the $1 Million Workshop, we actually walk you through identifying what the issues are in your business. Where are the gaps in your operation? What is working willy-nilly? Why are you here this month and down here next month, right? So we really try to uncover that. And then we try to identify all of the workflows that need to be created and try to organize that on the computer. So I actually help people lay out the folders that you need, lay out all the different systems that you're going to need for your business, and help you build out the shell for it so that now you can work from that and make sure that it works. And then we also look for the major functions in their business and make sure that every single thing that's done in their business has a workflow that leads to processes so people are not lost. Whether it's you or someone that comes to help you, everything is there for you.
Amazing. I love all of that because it really makes it easier for you, right? Once you organize, once you have everything in order, you have less worries, right?
Absolutely.
COVID has been a prime example of really checking your systems and processes and having the right workflows in place and what it means for your customers. A lot of people had to go online as a result of COVID. So they had to change their systems and process. Now they have to evaluate, are those systems and process that they changed, is it working, right? And then you look into what needs to be automated and what does not need to be. And you're looking at in the beginning from the time you have an inquiry to the time you completed the sale and upselling, because you want to keep that customer as when the sale is done, it's not done.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's what I try to cover in my program. I'm actually going to look and read you one of these little nifty charts here. So, I like to help people start by saying, okay, what are the major functions in your business? And there's usually 5 to maybe 7. When you start to drill down in those functions is when your business when the work flow or the processes start to expand and there will be more of it. But if you don't start with the major things that happen in your business, it's going to be very difficult to kind of detail your business as processes, as workflows and systems for anybody to help you or for you to continue having consistent success, or for you to clearly see where the gaps are. So when you have a system, it doesn't mean that it's perfect, but once it starts going, you will see either a customer's calling in to complain or my phone call is not being answered. Let's go back to the processes and see where we dropped the ball. Makes it simple.
Yeah.
So I was going back to the 5 blocks. So first you're going to have, how do people find you? Well, it's by marketing and everything in that marketing box. So what do I create? Where do I put it? And how do I say it? And then you get into how do you respond? When someone responds to that marketing ad or post or magazine, how do you respond? Are you responding by email? Are you responding by telephone? Are you responding by stool pigeon? Whatever that is, it always has to be the same, and it should be a clearly documented script. People don't like the word script, but I'm going to tell you, even I by myself have a script, and a script is a good guide to ensure that you always include the right things and the same things as you repeat this process. Otherwise, when you go back to look for gaps or figure out what went wrong, it'll be very difficult. You won't know where to start. So that's why that's important. And then the third box is, you schedule the service, deliver the service, ship that book, whatever it is, it's the fulfillment part. So what happens in fulfillment to keep it on point, to keep it consistent, and to give everybody, employees included, the same knock your socks off service. Because your employees are delivering the service. It has to be smooth for them to execute. All right. And then the next box is that follow-up, that nurture stage. Follow-up, keeping in touch with the client, answering their questions, making sure that they know that you're here to service. And then once you rope them in and close that sale, it's all about nurturing, which is a big step that people let go of. These last two, following up and nurturing their clients, are two very common things that people they bag a client and they're ready to move on. And you simply can't do that if you want repeat business.
Exactly. We do have a question. I'm wondering if in terms of automation, what platform do you recommend?
So I like to keep it very simple, especially when I'm just starting off with people who aren't quite past the 5-figure mark, because you don't want to make a large investment until you know you're making the money back.
That's true.
So I like Google email. I like Google Drive for all my documents, Google Docs for all my documents and spreadsheets, Google Sheets. I love Canva. I do all of my slide decks and webinars in Canva. I design all my social media in Canva. In the service business, depending on what service you're in, you could go for you could use Google Calendar. I've seen $1 million cleaning service using Google Calendar throughout his entire business life. So he uses Google Calendar for everything. But I say that the Google suite has a lot of tools that you can use. And sometimes it's not necessarily having something automated by technology. It's about having it clearly laid out for yourself and easily accessible for you and your team. Another tool or other tools that I really, really love, and this is where I work with my private clients, is setting up their Trello, Asana, Dubsado, Monday.com, whatever they use. I help them set that up. And I've recently now made people use 2 boards in those tools, because you can actually post your social media content, pictures, everything on there, set it up on a timer, and then you can send things out easily because it's there for you. But those project management tools are really good, because once you set them up with how your business runs, what is done in the financial department, step by step by step, and what's included in there, once you have that set up, it becomes so easy for people to follow along, people on your team. You can assign straight from those project management tools. So people on your team know what their responsibility is, what their task looks like, when their task is complete, what it should look like.
Yeah.
And there's calendars in there. So like I said before, our entrepreneurs slip off on setting themselves projects and timelines and deadlines and meeting them. Well, Asana or Trello or any one of those project management tools are going to do that for you. So there's no more dropping balls. Everything can be scheduled. Everything can be documented. And it's really a partner to, your Google Drive, because you can reference where things are. So let's say, for example, you build out your social media plan in Asana. You can actually put a map that leads you back to your Google Drive to actually pull the document if that's the way you do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Google Drive, big time. I use that for a lot of my social media clients. Huge. I also use Hootsuite to schedule my social media postings. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
Well, Canva, I just discovered Canva. You can actually, if you have the pro version, you can actually schedule posts from there. I don't think it includes, I'm not sure. I do LinkedIn and Instagram only. So, but it does, you can use it as a scheduler as well. So it's really about knowing the tools and how it will work for your business. Exactly. I've worked with a marketing person. I've worked with an insurance person, and then a youth counselor, and they all use Asana, and they all use it differently.
I love Asana.
But they all use it differently. So I learned stuff from them, because when you look at it, and you don't see anybody in it, you've never seen anybody using it before, you're going to see it how it can satisfy you and your needs.
Yeah.
And then, someone like me will come around and show you that you can use it in a much more comprehensive way, a better way to help you organize your social and your day-to-day tasks and what should be happening in your operation. It's just a really clear way to lay things out.
I also use MailChimp for email marketing. So those are some of the tools.
Yeah, and I use ConvertKit. So for email marketing, that really keeps things easy. Of course, there's things like Bitly where you can shorten links from, whether it's a Google Drive or a website that you create on like a lead pages, you can shorten that link with a Bitly. I'm just looking on my computer to see what else I have open. I use Thinkific for my program, Easy Webinar for my webinars. There's a lot of tools that you can use. And a lot of people think automation is just pushing a button. Well, if you're not prepared with what it is manually on paper, it's going to be very hard to load any software. So I always tell people, leave the software until you've got it organized digitally or on paper first. Then you can input into the software. The software is not going to fix your problems.
Someone was asking about how Asana is spelled.
Asana.
Yes, I just have to look that up to check. Yes.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Yes. So it's Asana for anyone
Correct.
who is inquiring.
Yeah.
I think it was Benjamin who had commented that. So your workshop, right? I put in the comments the instructions of how anyone can register. So for anyone who is interested, the link is in the comments. If for some reason the platform that you're watching it on, because it showed at 8 different places live at the same time. So if whichever platform you're watching it on, if the comment isn't there that shows how to sign up and you're interested, please write a comment saying, hey, I need to sign up. I'll definitely go over there and get you the information, just so you know as well. So I would say, Sheri, what would you say the future holds for you moving forward with SheriAnne Inc.?
Well, it's funny because as I was preparing for the launch of my workshop, so many other little, how can I call them, tools and programs that I can offer have service. So I really think that, once I get the cadence of being online and roping people in and loading up my workshops, I believe that I'm going to keep doing more. And I'm really going to listen to my clients, because I'm finding that the more clients I get is the more clear I am on how to speak to that client and attract them. So I feel like I'll be on this road for a little while, but going down the road, it will definitely be more products for sure. Digital products all the way.
Okay. We're going to wrap up the show, but please don't leave yet. We have a game.
Oh, gosh.
So the game is called Business Confessions. I will give you a question, a scenario. You respond, and I will guess if you're telling a lie or a confession. So it's something new we just started. So hope you enjoy it.
Hope I play right.
The game starts right now. Okay. So Sheri, tell me about a time when you didn't get along with someone, but you had to work together with that person to accomplish a goal. And how did you do that?
I didn't think this was going to be that hard. So you want to know a time where I worked with someone together to accomplish a goal, but it didn't work out?
Yeah. Or more of like maybe the personality didn't combine, but however, you were still able to work together to accomplish the goal.
Well, I'm going to tell you that as a big boss, it doesn't really happen to me. I call myself big boss because I've been bossing for so many years. So I know how to, diffuse the situation. But I got to tell you that maybe it was the time when in corporate, I was put to create a sales team with someone who had a lot more sales experience than I did. And I kind of took a back seat to, taking his tutelage and following his lead, since he had more experience than I. And he didn't like that. And he called me a name, and I bitch slapped him at work in corporate.
I would say how it ended, according to your story, I would say that's a lie. And
why?
I would say that because you're such a nice person, I don't see you doing that.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie.
You should see the comment. I think someone commented with a googly eye.
Oh boy.
Well, Sheri, what would you say? I'm gonna make this the last question of the day. What would you say makes what you do more unique from another business consulting firm?
Well, I don't know if it's the fact that people call me a bitch, but I am straight up. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to give you straight goods. I'm not going to hurt your feelings, but I am going to be a straight shooter. I come from a time, I ain't even give away my age here, but I come from a time where you didn't cry at work. You did what you were told, you loved your job, and everything was smooth. And that's kind of the cadence that I carry myself with in my business. So I don't have time for gossip or any of that foolishness. I'm not here to be your friend either. If we become friends, fine, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to hire you to do a job, and I shouldn't have to sugarcoat what you have to do. There's clear processes and procedures and job descriptions about what you're going to do and what you need to do. We have, back and forth about how it's done and feedback, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you what you do good. I'm going to tell you where there's opportunity for improvement. And I feel that I only attract people that can actually take that. So if I tell you that your post today could have been a little bit stronger and you take offense to that, we probably won't work together.
Yeah. And that's good, because it's good to have feedback, brutal, honest feedback. When you're around a support system that doesn't tell you the truth as it is, then you're living a lie, and you're not able to really become the better version or the best version of who you're meant to be.
And I gotta tell you, I've thrown a lot of money into coaching, and I've been pissed off lately at the first, 2 or 3 that I had. The past 2 coaches I had dialed me all the way in. All the other coaches were helping me build what I was building in the past, but the last 2, that's not graphically appealing. That doesn't make sense. Put this here. I got straight feedback, and that's what I like, right? So I'm not going to try to save your feelings, because I think that if I tell you about your design, you're going to cry. I would like you to be happy about me being honest with you, and just my opinion. Like, you are free to think what you want, but as your coach who's been there, done that, I think I can tell you or share with you.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the great reasons why people need a business coach, because you need someone to tell you as it is, so that way you can improve. It's all about improving your systems, your processes. It's all about improving who you are as a person as well, and the way you run your business, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you are a business owner, your employees are not going to tell you as it is. They're not. They want to get paid.
Exactly. But there are ways to get feedback from employees, but that's for another show.
Another show, definitely. It's all about having that systems and process in place to do that as well. So I would say I'm really looking forward to your workshop. I will definitely be one of the attendees on there. So for everyone who are interested, the link to it is in the comments. If not, reach out to me, send me a comment, send Sheri a comment, reach out to her on Instagram. Her information should show up on the screen here at SheriAnne Inc. on Instagram. There's also, the link is in her bio there as well. So feel free to register and check it out. Sheri, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Banki.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us today, sharing your knowledge. And for everyone who's watching, if you enjoy this show, please like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And see you next week, Thursday. And Sheri, thank you for spending time with us.
If you enjoy our programming and want to help support Black entrepreneurship, please donate today. www.businesstakeout.com/donate.